Okay, what I have here today is I have a range of knives that professional chef might use in his kitchen. I'm just going to go through these so we kind of explain and understand what they're for and how to use them. As you can see here, I'm going to start at the end here. So this would be what we would call a pastry carver knife. You can see this one has a rosewood handle, but generally they are plastic nowadays for modern durability and less porous and stuff like that. So this is great for carving, for joints, for cutting cakes. It's a general all-round purpose tool that the chef will use. Okay, he's got the teeth on it there, so it's really, really sharp. It can even be used for cutting sandwiches and a wide range of uses in a professional kitchen. Okay. Next thing here, we have a large cook's knife. Again, then this can be great then for, we can use it for chiming, we can use it for just general purpose knife for cutting vegetables, cutting large range of items really. It's just a large size, so we can even use it for splitting lobster, and again a great all-purpose tool that the chef will use in a kitchen. So we have a smaller version of our cook's knife. Okay, so this is about 8 to 10 inches here. Again, a really handy knife, really nicely balanced. These are Victorinox knives. They're my own personal knives I've had for a number of years, and it's all about keeping them sharp, using steel, having a stone, and then just generally looking after them. You can see as well there, this knife, and you'll see comparison there, the heel of it here, is that when you are using the steel and sharpening at the knives, that you run from the back of the knife to the front to make sure you get a consistent sharpened edge. And you can see there that that's the type of motion you use when you are cutting with a knife. Okay. You can see then, if I move on to this is like a boning knife. A boning knife, as you can see, is generally for meat and poultry and game preparation. And again, it's a rigid blade, so it's not really that flexible. But you can see there that you can't use this for chopping or anything like that, vegetables or anything like that, because if you look, the blade actually doesn't. The guard here, this knuckle here, is what hits the board first. So it's no good there for chopping vegetables. So it's only for preparation of meats and larder work. And then we have this knife. So this is a fish knife. It's a long, thin, flexible blade then that the chef can use for filleting knife, because you can scoot along the bones, up along on, say, a flat fish or whatever the case may be. Really valuable knife in the kitchen, and you should always be looked for, because the blade there is very, very thin. So if you drop it, more than likely it will end up, and you could bend your blade. Once you bend the blade, then the knife is basically useless. Okay, you'll have to get a new one. Then we have a peeler here. So I have two types of peeler. I have what we call a speed peeler, and then just kind of traditional. You can see the little nook on the side of it here, and that's generally used for taking the eye out of potatoes. This is quite fast. They're very, really cheap to buy and really good products. This is more traditional there, and if we have to eye the spud, then we would use just the tip here, which is slightly sharp, and to dig out the eye or any bad in the potato. Okay, speed peeler. Again, I have two types of palette knife here. Again, they're for lifting items, pastry items, and general use in the kitchen. This one is nice as well, because if you can see it there, it also has a ruler edge on it as well, which is really good for if you're measuring items. Okay, and these are cranked, so they have a little step in them, so they're quite easy and handy there for lifting items. It can also be used when you're cooking fish and stuff like that. Multi-purpose, really good item. And again, then I just have my own fish scissors here. I've had this for years. Really, really robust scissors, great for cutting fish, cutting through bone, and yeah, really just a really good item. Finally, there I just have a very basic fish tweezers, just for taking bones out of a fish. Really simple, and just something every chef toolkit should have. And I just want to come back then just to show you again this cook's knife and the motion that you should be using when you're cutting. Okay, if you're doing that, then you're slicing right through, you get a clean cut through the item, as opposed to this, where you end up bruising the item. So that was just a look at some of the knives there that I generally have in my kit. I've had them for years. If you look after your knives, you should have them for a lifetime. They are the tools of your trade, and they are an investment, and they will serve you well in your career in this fantastic industry. So just a selection of knives there.